What it do, peeps? Sister B Chef for watching them tape. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when I drop my next video. To my new subscribers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope you get some from the content. To my day ones, thank you for helping me build this platform and keep this WNBA conversation pushing. A lot went on this week concerning coaches and coaching moves. First part of this video, I'm going to focus on Noelle Quinn, and then I'll get into Sandy Brondello, and then I'll leave Chris Kalanis and Tyler Marsh for last, because Stephanie White needs to be included in the conversation, so we'll leave them for last. But first, Noelle Quinn. Noelle Quinn got about 5 years to coach. She was a player on the team. She won a championship with the team, and then she became an assistant coach, and then she took over when the head coach retired and became the head coach. She got 5 years. She got 5 years the head coach. They finished third, second, fifth, third, and fourth in the West. That's not really good. She had 12 playoff games that she coached in her career. She was 4-8 in those games. She lost in the first round this year. She lost in the first round last year. She missed the playoffs in 2023. She lost in the conference semifinals the year before that in 2022. And in her first year coaching, she lost in the second round. So, you have her record. Over the time I've been watching sports, I've identified like 4 things that normally get coaches fired. 1 is money. 2 is your mouth. 3 is performance. And 4, a choppy, chippy relationship with the person that's directly your boss, whether it be the general manager or, if you're the coach / general manager, the ownership group. Any of them 4 things get ruffled and things can get dicey. So with Noelle Quinn, we'll break it down. Noelle Quinn, if you recall last year, if you just got introduced to the WNBA, she allowed a lot of stuff to go on in her team with Jewell Loyd. There was harassment charges, harassment allegations. Now, if this was anything else, if it was any other business, these would be taken super serious. But in this league, it was kind of brushed to the side and pushed to the back burner because of the Caitlin Clark-Angel Reese phenomenon. But if you recall, when Caitlin Clark first played in Seattle, Skylar Diggins, of course, it was jealousy in the air. She gives Caitlin Clark that shoulder bump. And I noticed that the assistant coaches were quite animated during this time, and for the life of me, I could not figure out, why are the assistant coaches so angry and so involved? Well, you fast forward to this year. They have the all season. They trade Jewell Loyd. They get the draft pick. They get Dominique Malonga. They're good. Dominique Malonga starts playing more as the season ends. At the beginning of the season, Seattle was hot, one of the better teams in the league. Went to Minnesota, beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Were at the time about the 3 or 4 seed. They were always around 3, 4, and 5 for the most of the season. And then right around the All-Star break, things started to change, and they started sliding further and further back in the standings. They tried to right the ship. They got Brittany Sykes. That didn't work out as well as they thought. The team was kind of constructed bad, but they still had this angry spirit that was going on. Nneka Ogwumwanyị, the Players Association president, right after the All-Star break, when they were all together, I'll never forget, she body slammed another player for another team in a game like it wasn't nothing. And then ironically, she wins the Kim Perot Sportsmanship Award. Go figure. But the culture I saw in that team, you can tell anytime Jewell Loyd played them, the assistant coaches would hurl insults at her. You could hear it. Plenty of reports about these insults. But on August 10th, an article came out in the Sporting Tribune, and it caught my attention because I had heard stories of her calling herself a gangster, and I was like, who is a coach that calls herself a gangster? So the title of the article, and I'll leave the article in the description, LA native Noelle Quinn is building her own culture in the WNBA. And it goes into, she's from Los Angeles, and it talks about her childhood and where she grew up. And it says this, it says, even though she attended private school starring at Bishop Montgomery in Torrance and leading the Lady Knights to 4 state championships, she never lost sight of where she came from. And it always sounds bad when you hear it, because that means you damn near got a ghetto spirit. 1 block removed from notorious gang territory and around the corner from the famed Forum, Quinn said it was important to embrace being a product of her environment. Last season, veteran Nneka Ogwumwa was asked what she appreciated most about coming to Seattle to play for Quinn, to which the WNBPA Madam President replied, "Noe doesn't mess around. She brings a lot of that gangster from LA. I love it. She can be soft-spoken, but she doesn't play games." Quinn embraced Ogwumwa's comment as a compliment and went on to describe her version of what it meant to be a gangster. And then she goes on to talk about faith, stress, education, and what it taught her. Her definition of gangster was just as important as the other ones that others may use. And she said she credited a lot from being from that area. South Central helped mold her. You have to be mindful that the more you put into what you're doing, the more you'll be better for yourself. But also just the culture of understanding we're engulfed in an environment of love. It's about love and respect. All of these things that come with growing up in an area like that. And then it goes into talking about the 83 gangster Crips, 8 Trey Crips, all this stuff in the street. And it got into really hoodie stuff. Basically, Noelle Quinn got fired because they got tired of her being a gangster girl, and they're trying to get rid of that culture. So your performance is already bad. That's one. Your mouth just got you got. So you do this interview, you're not playing well, and the only thing you're talking about is glorifying gangster culture as a professional basketball coach. Former Raider head coach Antonio Pierce did the exact same thing. Instead of being appreciative of wherever you're from and where you grew up and just saying, hey, I went through a lot, I'm here now, and focus on the here now, he did the exact same thing Noelle Quinn did. Went back, I grew up in the mean streets of LA, gang territory, something, and he glorified it. And it's like, dude, we get it. You lived in LA. We know there's 1,000 gangs in LA. We get it. You don't have to glorify it. And if you're gonna glorify it, you damn best sure make sure your performance matches the mouth. You're doing a lot of talking, but you're not doing a lot of winning. And that's what happened to Noelle Quinn. Noelle Quinn became a victim of where she came from. You go now. You get a chance to go back to those streets, and now you get to help some kids not go into those gangs. But you lost the platform where you were at by running your mouth, not handling business. So for Noelle Quinn, mouth and performance got her sideways, because the general manager, it was just like Noelle Quinn. She started out as a video person, moved her way up to assistant director, and then moved her way into the general manager spot. So just like Quinn, she was there for a title run. She knows Quinn well. But at a certain point, your mouth is saying one thing and your performance is doing another, and they're going in opposite directions and they're not going up. That's what happened to Noelle Quinn. Next, we're going to get into Sandy Brondello. It's going to be a 3-part video. Next.